everyone, Monday here, back with more questing. This time we are in White Cliffs. And White Cliffs is located in this region right here, all this green stuff. Now in this area we do have a waystone, so it's a good place to go if you're trying to get to Impact Crater or Grand Plains in a hurry. If you have someone you can trust waystoning you, because that's always going to be an issue in Path of Titans when it comes to waystones. So for flowers and button mushrooms, because the whole place is kind of in the open anyway, there's a few specific places we can look. Let me double check my map so I have proper orientation. I'm actually going to travel down this way. Oh, I didn't have to go far to find the arrow, that's for sure. But you'll kind of see these scattered throughout the area. I don't know if you can hear it, but there are some of those glow mushrooms nearby. So I'm going to continue on to places where I know that there are flowers. And I'll also point out points of interest in the area as well. Oh, also, do not let the appearance of the turtle shells down here fool you. There is no Gifts from the Sea quest in White Cliff. And now we look for the button mushrooms. Those can be a little bit more of a pain to find, but it usually doesn't take too much. Let's see, I think there's a few up here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Here's a few. There's lots of red ginger in this area as well. This is a pretty good place for a group quest as well, because it's big and it's got plenty of resources. Alright, flowers for the hive. This is very much like the same quest that you will see in Snake Gully and in Grand Plains. This is the only other place that I'm aware of on the entire map that has this quest. And thankfully there's some flowers right here. Now if you were something small, this is great because the hive is up there. So you can just deliver your flower and then hop down over here to grab another flower. But if you're something that can't quite take the fall, I'll show you where else you can find these flowers. So if you can't quite take the fall, the flower patch you're going to want to head towards is right over here. Boop, these flowers right here. These are great for the delivery quest if you cannot take a big fall. And the way you get up there is over here. Ta-da! Now the Alio can take a little bit of a fall, so I'm going to kind of demonstrate what that typically looks like. Is you'll come over here and just kind of wiggle your way down a bit. Whoop. Maybe not quite that fast. And then boom, you're already at the flowers again and making your way back up. Alright, that takes care of that quest. So now we move on to tiger nuts. And tiger nuts follow the same rule in this biome that they do in pretty much every other one. You just look for clumps of these bushes and chances are good you'll find some tiger nuts. And sometimes they're out in the open just a little. Yep, see, here we go. Tiger nuts. Okay, finding rocks in this region can be... I don't want to say it can be difficult, because they're easy to find once you know what you're looking for. But they're scattered weird. So you remember the piles of rocks? Like this one? They don't spawn near the big gray rocks in this area. They're just kind of out in the open. So look toward the base of plateaus and stuff like this one. That's usually where I find them. I usually find more of them in this general direction than I do in the other one. It's not that they're not there, it's just I personally find them easier over here than over there. Alright, and that is White Cliff. Now places, I'll show you kind of on the mini-map on this one. Places you can usually find lots of rocks and tiger nuts are along this area. It's also kind of easier to find some of the flowers and shrooms up in here, but they can spawn along this region as well. So as for points of interest, for survival purposes, there's a few of those. So let me get into position here so I can bring you to one of the first ones. So along this wall, there's a cave. And there it is. It's got 2 entrances, but it's relatively spacious. I have to crouch to get into this side. I think the other side I can usually walk through. But it's got a nice bit of space in it. And if you go all the way towards the back, it's definitely hard to see you from a distance. So again, more places to safe log or roleplay, depending on what server you're on. Oops, gotta crouch to get into here. Alright, and that's the big cave. There's a few other caves in this area, but that's the one that most of the medium creatures and whatnot can get into. I don't think an apex can get in there, so you should be safe from things like Rexes. Now there's another cave up at the top there. Yeah, gotta put a little ring around the rosy. Oh yeah, because it's up here with the hive. I forgot that it was up here with the hive. Boom, another cave. Now this one might be big enough for a Rex to get in, but you've got a little escape hole if you're something small and can jump. You've got bones if you have the scavenger diet, and if you're desperate, there are some salt rocks in here. And these also make for half-decent cover if you're just trying to get to the back of the cave and out of range of something large. So that's another good little point of interest there. And I'll show you the last cave that I'm aware of, and then I'll show you on the mini-map where the fresh water is. Because most of the water around here is salt water. There it is. I'm almost running past it. So right up here is another cave. I'm not sure I can fit into this as an alio, but it's got a half decent amount of space back there. So if you're something small, that's a good bolt hole to scurry into. And then if you need some food, this place almost always has a carcass at this location. Right under this tree. Ta-da! Food. Hello, Editing Mondayvu here. In my last White Cliffs video, most of which you will see, I was kind of lazy about showing you where the fresh water was, so I've decided to rectify that now that I have a bit more energy. So from the carcass, I'll show you where it is on the mini-map first. Let me zoom back into White Cliff. So, this right here, don't let this fool you, it is all salt water. This is where the fresh water is located. This is where we are, where the carcass is. So if you look down here, that down there, that's all salt water. Do not drink that. That is the ocean. You're going to want to go to this plateau up here, and I'll show you how to get there now via slightly sped up vision. Also, really quickly, for survival purposes, here is a food bush. It is one of it is one of, I think, 2 or 3 that's in White Cliff. This is one of the 2. I know where they are. I don't know where the 3rd one is. And directly next to that, it's a burrow. Also, if you don't want to quest in the most popular area, you can find rocks and flowers and butt mushrooms out here. This up here is the freshwater. This is drinkable. However, it is also deep enough to hide semi-aquatic creatures, so you are going to want to be careful. There's also, I believe there's also a food bush lurking around here somewhere. Yep, here it is. Here's the second food bush. And we're not too far from the home cave either. So that has been White Cliff with a necessary edit, and I will catch you guys in the next video.